Well, as always, this group right here shines. They're always crisp and to the point, and it's always an honor to have them to present the colors at any event that I've ever been to. And that's a result of leadership that they receive. We have Command Sergeant Henry, Sergeant First Class Parsons, and Lieutenant Colonel Shackford to thank for that. But they do a good job. Let's give them all a big hand. Well, again, this is a beautiful sunny winter morning, and as always, we was wanting to have the crowd packed out here for the governor. Appreciate all the community partners coming out, but you know, dealing with the pandemic and everything, you never know what to expect from one day to the next.
No, you don't.
So we'll just take it as it is, but again, it's great to see everyone here. I'd like to recognize everyone here today. We have Judge Executive Pat White from Whitley County. We have Jeff Frost, the principal here at Lincoln, or Knox Central. Excuse me. I'm surprised somebody's not thrown something and hit you yet. There's some big rivalries goes on here. And we have Representative Tom Smith. Governor Andy Beshear. And the President of the Senate, Robert Stivers. As well as, like I said, a host of community partners here together. And we're here to hear from the working of everyone working together. We're going to have an announcement for some projects, and at this time, I would like to invite Governor Beshear to the podium.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Judge, and I know we wanted a whole auditorium filled with, let's try to take this in, with students, but I know you're doing what you always do, putting their health and safety first. Let me first start by saying thank you to every single educator that works in this system. You all have been amazing. And I know we've got so many other great community partners, from Healthcare Heroes to it looks like Community Action Council and so many others. Thank you for everything you do every single day to help the people of this community and all of the people of Kentucky. I am so happy to be in Barberville here today, especially with some exciting news that we have to share about improvements for Knox County as well as neighboring Whitley County. We're announcing several major projects today that will address critical infrastructure, and it'll do it through grants. In other words, making improvements that help the lives of our people without raising anybody's water bill. First up, let's talk about grants we have for our hosts here in Knox County. Our first award comes from our Cleaner Water Program. This program is doing the right thing, and it was created in the right way. It's doing the right thing because clean drinking water is a basic human right. Every single one of our families ought to be able to turn on the tap at their home and have safe, reliable drinking water. And to spur the kind of economic development that you deserve, and we'll talk about that in a minute, we know we've got to have reliable and sufficient water and wastewater systems. It is the right thing. It was also done in the right way. You know, it was at the end of the last session that we saw something many people thought wasn't possible in Frankfurt or Washington, D.C. anymore, and that was bipartisan agreement. You know, we didn't always see that in the last session. There were some days, I'll admit, that for me were like a bad doctor's visit. I'm not going to tell you what type of doctor, but he figured it out. But at the end, we did what we're supposed to do, what many of you teach your students to do. We all put our egos aside. We realized that clean drinking water isn't red or blue, Democrat or Republican. It's just really good for our families. And we sat in the Supreme Court chamber, not litigating, but cooperating. and worked out a plan to appropriate more than $1 billion of American Rescue Plan Act funds. And we did it in ways that were good for everybody. First, we paid off the loan for unemployment that helped get so many through the pandemic. Second, we invested hundreds of millions of dollars in broadband. That's the infrastructure of the future, for business, for health, for education. And then we put $250 million into this program to provide grants all across Kentucky to ensure that we could have safe, reliable systems and that we could address some flooding concerns that we know better systems can help us to reduce. It took cooperation amongst executive branch and legislative branch, among House and Senate, but it also took cooperation within your local governments. See, when we put this together, we put a certain amount towards every single county and immediately asked our judges and our mayors to come together and to agree on where it was needed most. And you know what? All 120 counties, all those judges and all those mayors came to agreement. Isn't that special? I think it is. It's a great example for us in Frankfort, maybe for those in DC, about the fact that we are all one people, certainly within a county, but also within this state, and to see that type of local cooperation, I think gave all of us faith to include in any version of the budget another round of these types of grants. Even better, every time you invest millions in water and sewer, you create permanent jobs. Across this state, we believe that this will create up to 3,800 new jobs, again, all across Kentucky. None of this would have been possible without a number of partners, but let's make sure we thank the team at the Cumberland Valley Area Development District. They did a great job. With that, we brought a bunch of big checks. Let's get to it. First, we have an award for the Knox County Utility Commission. The commission will receive more than $1.1 million, or if you're one of the engineers, $1,143,833 to replace outdated water line and install a 350-gallon per minute booster pump station and master meter pit. This project will provide the commission with an alternate water source and the ability to support the city of Barberville during emergencies such as flooding. So first, congratulations on that award. But while we are still with this county, we wanted to talk about other needed infrastructure. Early on in our administration, I tasked our engineers at the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet with finding roadways all over the Commonwealth that needed the most fixing up. From that list, we directed millions of dollars to make sure we're getting improvements where people live. You know, in Kentucky, we're really good at logistics, but the most important cargo we ever put in our cars are our children. Making sure that your roads are safe for your families is absolutely critical to every branch of state government. So today, we're happy to announce 3 discretionary awards to the Knox County Fiscal Court. This funding is going to go for some badly needed road resurfacing on sections of 3 county roads. Combined, they add up to nearly 1.5 miles of new surfacing, which is going to help more efficient and safer travel. These roads are Oak Hill Road, Old Farm Road, and Standard Avenue, 3 routes that are getting help today. Our Oak Hill Road grant is for $7,000. Old Farm Roads is for nearly $17,000. And our grant for Standard Avenue is $72,000. Local streets and roads are vital for our communities, and we want to make sure that we are stepping up. But there is one last really important announcement we want to make sure we make for this county, and I know Representative Tom Odell Smith's going to add a little in a bit for this. I'm happy to announce today that I'm also giving my full backing and recommendation for the $90,000 request we made to the Appalachian Regional Commission for the Knox County Broadband Expansion Project. If approved, this project will design and build 2 miles of fiber into the county's most underserved area. The network will serve 28 residential customers in the Ramsey Branch area, and I think you'll hear from Representative Smith reach a whole lot more. This is how we bridge the digital divide. Every neighborhood, every holler, every single place we have to go, knowing every single home needs high-speed broadband, not only in the time that we're in, but in the time that we're entering. So we'd ask our good judge, Mike Mitchell, to please join us with anybody else you'd like. Certainly, Senate President, you all appropriated most of these dollars. Representative Smith, to please accept these checks.
John, I'd like for you and Sam to come up. Sam Watts, the chairman of the Knox Utility District.
Yep.
We've got Josh Callahan with the Barber City Utilities.
Why don't you hold this one? We'll get everybody up front if we can. Let's see. Utility Commission?
Judge, there's a watch for the roads.
And the roads. We'll get everybody in. Come on, Judge. Come on, Rocky. Three checks make for a better picture.
Yeah.
All right. Judge, you want to offer a few words about this project?
These are very viable projects. You know, the roads is something that we're always sending requests up to the governor for, and we appreciate his attention to them. He's in the same shape I'm in. I'd love to help money blacktop every road that I have, but unfortunately, we
Keep
have
asking.
to. I will. But anyway, and the broadband, it is critical infrastructure. In our society today, it's something that we need to get to unserved and underserved areas. If you don't have it, it's very vital for telemedicine, non-traditional days that our students have to face. It's just got to be connected. But one thing that stands out particular about this water project, this interconnect, this is one of the first projects I started working on, and I'm glad to see it come to completion here as we get started on this next phase. Matter of fact, the governor and I and Senator Stivers, we did a flyover in February, and the water plant was flooded at that time. I told him, I said, Governor, right here is one of our water plants, and it serves over 3,000, or right under 3,000 customers. I don't want to give you the exact number, it's 2,900, I believe. But anyway, he told me, he said, get to work on it, make sure I've got everything, which we already did have the request in place, and so we got it moving, and appreciate President Stivers, Representative Smith, y'all been involved in getting this done too. And this is not only a Knox County project. We serve several customers out of this Knox Utility District in Whitley County. So, Judge, it's a regional project that helps your people as well. And that's what it's all about. But I can remember several things about this Knox Utility project. Firsthand, in 2015, we were dealt with flooding, then we had snow, then we had ice. And for about a 3-week period, I was in charge of distributing water. Water is a whole lot better to move through transmission lines than it is handing it out. Trust me, we know. And all my community partners come together, and we did, I think, a great job on handing out water, but that's no easy task. But again, I want to thank you, Governor, and all of you. And a lot of you here will see the benefits of this if you have this water project. Again, I was wanting our students to be here today because there are a lot of customers that receive this. So I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you.
Governor, at this point.
Well, thank you, Judge. And Judge pushed real hard for these projects. President Stivers, one of the architects of the entire program that's providing these dollars all over the state. And last time I was in the area, Representative Smith met me at the airport, and I hadn't said hi yet before he was already pushing for this broadband project. So we appreciate working together. Next up, we have 4 more Cleaner Water Program awards, this time for our friends in neighboring Whitley County. Each of the following systems will receive more than $332,000. First, the Cumberland Falls Highway Water District will use the funds to replace about 40,000 feet of water lines that extend service to approximately 20 underserved residences. The district will also use the funds to replace a master meter and purchase automatic meter reading and data processing equipment. Next, the City of Williamsburg will replace the existing sanitary lift station originally designed to serve the Kentucky Splash Water Park in the Whitley County Detention Center. The project's critical in maintaining adequate sewer service to the area, which is experiencing rapid growth. In addition, the Whitley County Fiscal Court will extend about 26,000 linear feet of water main to serve customers in Whitley County, including 50 currently unserved households. This is bringing water to families that currently don't have it. This is the most special part of this program. And finally, the Whitley County Water District will replace deteriorating water lines in 11 areas of its distribution center, extend water service to another 230 underserved households, and extend a transmission main and install a pressure-reducing valve station. So Whitley County Judge Executive Pat White Jr. and anybody else who'd like to have up here, please accept.
The checks are on their way, so they should be here shortly.
Okay, let's give them a round of applause, and then we'll hand the checks as soon as they're here. But judges, again, let's hear about the projects.
Sorry about that.
Money's still good.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. My name is Pat White. I'm the Whitley County Judge Executive, for those of you that don't know me. We are very excited to see these projects. Whenever you're getting clean water to people that are on wells or don't have it, it really is a special occasion, as the governor described. I really appreciate all the efforts of the governor, as well as our legislative leaders. Tom O'Neill Smith has been a dear friend of mine, and we share our senator, Senator Stivers, the president of the Kentucky Senate. I appreciate each of their efforts in appropriating these funds. In Whitley County, we have several water districts that are involved. We have the water district in Williamsburg, which is going to be using that money for sanitary sewer. That sewer project is allowing for the Cumberland Mint project in Williamsburg to be served. It will create a lot of growth, and we'll be partnering with the racetrack that I think we're groundbreaking for here in just a little bit. And so some of these projects are serving clean water, and some of these projects are helping to build our counties to where we can experience the growth that we really need and have wanted for years. And so we're proud to see each of these projects take place. I do have with me Mike Baird, the manager of the Cumberland Falls Water District, and he can come on up and we'll do the check. Thank you all.
We got the City of Williamsburg too. Anybody else who would like to vote?
Anybody else, Judge?
That's the only one's present.
Okay. Yeah. Please. Let's give. Here you go. Well done.
That's the biggest one.
There you go. Turn those letters. All right. Congratulations. Thank you.
Well, again, congratulations to everybody on these awards. And how exciting. How exciting to be making these types of investments in your communities. Things that are truly going to help people in their daily lives, that aren't about moving us right or left, but just moving us forward, helping every single family reach their potential. And I think what you've heard is it's coming at an important and great time. We are seeing an economy on fire here in Kentucky, with last year a record $11.2 billion in private sector investment. The creation of 18,000 new jobs, something we've never done in a single year, at the second highest wage ever. And just as exciting, we've seen these jobs created all over Kentucky, and not just in our largest cities. I remember getting to be here last year in Whitley County, expanding Firestone with an incredibly exciting announcement that's going to make this region be an important part of the electric vehicle industry. We're here today to do a second groundbreaking in the community related to the horse industry. But seeing hundreds of millions of dollars of investment and of new investment, the creation of new jobs, I truly believe that we are at a place and time where our state has arrived. You know, last year we announced the single largest economic development project in our history. At $6 billion, 5,000 new jobs, that Ford SK Innovation Battery Park is going to make us the leader in producing electric car vehicle batteries. It has put us on the map. And we are never, ever going to be a flyover state again. The exciting part is we are the destination. And our job is to make sure that in the years to come, when we work to take 2 years of great economic growth and to turn it into 20 years of prosperity, that no one is left out. Because at these moments, far too often, the same people are left out. Same regions of Kentucky don't see the new jobs. The same neighborhoods in some of our city don't see those jobs. So I think it's our role, all of us at the state and at the local level, is to make sure that every single one of your families, every single family that our educators here serve, has true opportunity to reach their full potential. And I tell you what, I think we are closer than we have ever been to reaching that collective dream, realizing it, of every parent and grandparent across Kentucky, that you never have to leave where you're from because every opportunity isn't available to you. That's all we really want as parents. The very best for our children with the option for them to stay where they were raised. I believe that our time is here, our future is now, and so much more positive to see in this community and so many others as we move forward. Now I'd like to introduce the legislators that helped make this happen. First, President Stivers was not only in the room, but one of the lead negotiators in this cleaner water program, coming together to find the right ways and the right program. And then we've worked together throughout the program too, providing updates, making sure it's working, being accountable for every single penny that's been put out there. We appreciate his help and willingness to work with us on this and so many other projects. President Stivers.
Thank you, Governor. And it's interesting to come here to this school because I've been now the state senator for 20 years. And the announcements that Governor makes today aren't like this school, because 20 years ago, when this school was about ready to be built, you see it. You understand what it is. And there was some real problems, Tom, I think you remember, with subsidence, because we had to go and get additional money. So I use this as an example of things you see that people see on a daily basis that make an impact. But what the governor speaks of today in water lines, sewer lines, broadband, not a lot of people see that. I'm going to look over at Ted Hampton. You know, Ted, I've got 4 children. One of them actually works in your group. That's the only one that stayed in the state of Kentucky, out of 4. Investments like this today are what keep our kids, as the governor said, here. I just got a call 2 weeks ago that my daughter and son-in-law will be moving back to Kentucky. Yeah. And one of the reasons is my son-in-law will be working remotely for a company out of Pittsburgh and not leaving, Governor, to go to Pittsburgh to work. So even though you may not see that water line that allows that house to be built, to have that broadband that allows that job to be had. It really makes a difference. It keeps people here. It increases the value. And circling back to this school, without increased property values, without that money being turned and churned in the system, you don't have your taxes to build schools like this. That's why these, even though they may not be seen, are as important across the state. And I commend the governor for the recruitment of Ford. But these investments are what create those 10 and 15 jobs and 20 jobs in every community all across the state. That's why announcements like this are important. And to the governor's credit and what he spoke of, I can remember that day, actually may have been two, in the Supreme Court chambers as we sat and looked and had diagrams and exhibits about what we needed to do and where we needed to do it. And that was one of the best days during the session, because we were able to come with plans that culminate in announcements like that. So to my partner, Tom Odell Smith, to the judges who work with us in a great way, and to the governor, but most importantly to this community, congratulations. It's a good day and good announcements. Thank you.
All right, next up, Representative Tom Odell Smith.
Thank you, Governor, and it's a pleasure to be here today. Sam, this is a great day for Knox County. I bet you that we couldn't count, it'd take a calculator, take the phone calls that the utilities taken over the years because their water's out, because they don't have water coming through their faucets. And if they do, then it's not drinkable and has to be boiled. This is a great day for Knox County, and thank you, Governor. And the broadband, he's telling you the facts of, I captured them in London Corbin Airport and told them that we had I had made a commitment to Ramsey Branch, and I believe Principal Frost, that some of those kids, our kids were at Walmart hooking up on Wi-Fi so they could do their homework. And that broke my heart. And we're going to figure it out, Senator Stivers, and we're going to figure it out, Judge and Ted, with RACC, and we appreciate Barber Utilities, Josh being here. We're going to figure out how to get it into every home in Knox County. And I promise you we'll do our best to get it funded and get you broadband into your home. It is a necessity, it's a utility today. I believe it's as important as utility. But in saying that, I appreciate the Governor's, Eddie Jacobs and the Governor's local government and Rocky Atkins. They went to war to get us the funding. And not only did they get us enough funding, I worked with Josh to get Ramsey Branch down to a certain number that we were able to take the 90,000 and parlay it into another 100 homes. So it's going to do over 128 homes in Knox County. And that's working with your judge here to show that we can come together and work on these things. Before I sit down, I want to tell you this, and I'm trying to tell it every time that there's a ribbon cutting or an announcement. You're fortunate to have President Stivers in Frankfurt. I always knew that he was important until I got up there, and I figured out he was very important. He is not only good at figuring out how to make things work, he understands policy, which I'm still trying to learn. It's easy for me to go into the governor's office or go to his people and say, I want this. But it has to go through a cycle, and it has to go through policy. It has to be able to be written into the budget. And I will tell you this, with our water and sewage governor, over in the House right now, we've extended it another $100 million. We're looking at putting $350 million into it. And President Stivers has given us the best policy, and that is to send it to our counties. Give it to our counties, direct it, you know what you have to spend. And I'll go back to say this, and we've said it at our announcement at the vocational school. We've got great leadership in Frankfurt that is totally committed to vocation. And I'm telling you right now, that's one of the reasons I ran to go up there to give our kids the Second Avenue. Not only college, some of the kids, college is important to them, that's the avenue they want to go. But to those that don't, I don't want them to fall between the cracks. I want them to be able to get a career and have an occupation. And I want to thank President Stivers for his efforts up there with me. It means a lot to me. And Governor, I'll stand with you today and tell you thank you for what you're doing for Eastern Kentucky and for Knox County. Thank you.
All right, and finally, I want to introduce community leaders who know so much about these projects, the impact for Kentuckians in the region, starting with the students and the staff here who have graciously, well, certainly the staff here, that has graciously hosted us at Knox Central High School. Principal Frost, would you like to say a few words?
On behalf of Superintendent Ledford and the Knox County Public Schools, the faculty and staff gathered here at Knox Central High School, we want to welcome our Governor Beshear, Senator Stivers, Representative Smith, Judge Mitchell, and the many, many guests who are here, as well as a lot of our Knox Central faculty and staff. I want to thank our state and local leaders for being part of this. And the question might be asked, why an economic development would we have at a school? Why would we hand out the checks for economic development start at a school? Well, these guys know, and our local leaders, our state leaders know, that a strong workforce starts with public school. And we appreciate all of their efforts to make this happen for our school system, whether it be the broadband initiative or the many other things they do to make this happen. I wanted to ask each of our career pathway students to stand, but I really only have the ROTC pathway group represented here, but we have many, many pathways that lead in many directions. And we're grateful for their investment in the CTC Center, things like the dual credit scholarship opportunities for our students. We see the need for teachers, and at Knox Central we've established the education pathway. We are grateful for the support that these leaders are providing. So feel free to come back to Knox Central anytime. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Oh. Thank you, Principal. My family is filled with Kentucky Public School graduates. I may have been a Blue Devil, both my kids are Panthers. So to close us out, Whitley County Judge Executive, Pat White, Jr.
Thank you all again for having me this evening. I just want to kind of echo a sentiment that's been shared by the governor and by some of our legislative leaders that we are stronger and better when we work together. And I think that you'll see that in one of the projects that has been announced. One of these projects is a grant to the Whitley County Fiscal Court to give back to the Knox Utilities Commission to extend water lines in eastern Whitley County to people that do not have water. So those kind of things do not get done if local leaders don't cooperate and get along. Those kind of things do not get done, as the governor said, if legislative leaders and executive leaders do not cooperate and get along and make things happen. And I appreciate all of them and all of their hard work in helping make those things happen. Now, one particular story I'd like to share in closing is about your judge, Judge Mitchell. Judge Mitchell and I have been friends a long time. And about 10 or 12 years ago, I started a chip seal road project program in Whitley County. We started chip sealing some roads. Now, I had never done that before. I had grown up around coal mines and construction equipment, but that's not really about resurfacing. But Judge Mitchell had, in a previous business, been in that line of work. And he came to Whitley County and donated his time to help us start that program. And I'll never forget it. I think it's a good example for our region, and I will always appreciate it. Thank you, Judge. And with that, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, and we are dismissed. Thank you.